All right, dividing fractions. First, being familiar with the term multiplicative inverse really just means, I'm sure you've heard it in elementary school, reciprocal. The multiplicative inverse is just taking the reciprocal of the number, multiplying to see that it equals 1. If you remember, we talked about the additive inverse back in chapter 3 when we were solving equations and we wanted to make 0. Additive inverse, remember, is when you add two opposite numbers to make 0. Multiplicative inverse is when you multiply the reciprocals of each other to equal 1. So that's it. Multiplicative inverse of a fraction only. This is not a fraction, this is a mixed number. So first you got to change it into a fraction, then you can flip it. So there's the multiplicative inverse. Okay. So why do we need to know multiplicative inverse? It's the only way we can divide fractions. So when we divide fractions, what we say is we skip it, flip it, cross cancel it, and multiply it. Okay? So skip it means leave the first number alone. This is the dividend. Leave it alone. Okay? We're only going to reciprocate the second number or the divisor. So skip, flip it, look and see, can you do some cross canceling, which you can right here, and then do 4 times 2 and 1 times 3, you get 8/3. How many groups of 3 are in 8? There's 2 with 2 left over. Skip it, flip it, multiply it. Skip, flip, multiply, cross cancel. This becomes 3, and this becomes 4, so 9/20. Skip it, flip it, multiply it, 5/18. Remember, whole numbers are over 1, so to flip it would be 1/3. Skip, flip, multiply, try it. This one, remember, you can only have fractions, and mixed numbers are not fractions. Notice the rule, every 2 negatives make a positive, so I know my answer is going to be negative. So I need to take them, convert them first into improper fractions. And then I'm going to do my skip and my flip. I'm going to pay attention to how I can cross cancel this. And then I'm going to get -3/2 or -1 1/2. Same thing. 15/4 divided by 21/8. Leave this alone. Flip this around. Do some cross canceling. And then multiply straight across. How many groups of 7 are in 10? 1. With how many left over? 3/7, and no negatives, so there you go. Same thing with algebraic fractions. Not going to change anything. You're just going to skip it. You're going to flip it. And you're going to see what you can cross cancel. I can cross cancel this 8 with this 16, this y with this y, this 5 with this 10, and no x's can be canceled. So I'm left with 2x on the top and 2 on the bottom. Oh, look at that. I can cross cancel that too to be 1 and 1. So in the end, this scary looking algebraic fraction division problem ends up to be just x as your answer. Skip it. Oops. And flip it. 9m. M's cancel. The 6 becomes a 3. How about the 6 becomes a 2? The 9 becomes a 3. The 4 becomes a 2, and 2 goes into 10 5 times. So I'm left with 4 over 15, and don't forget the P. How many gallons of gas are needed to travel 78 3/4 mile if a car gets 25 1/2 miles per gallon? So basically, I just need to know how many 25 1/2s are in 78 3/4. Same process, skip, flip, multiply. Just bigger numbers. Don't look at that. Do the same thing, but this time I want you to think about this one can be estimated, because how many pillows can Emily make? She's not going to make part of a pillow. So I'm going to look at these two numbers. I'm going to think, I'm going to make this 4, and I'm going to make this a number that 4 gets along with, 32. So how many groups of 4 and 32? 8. She can make 8 pillows. Done.